Today we're going to talk about a really innovative school in Charleston County, South Carolina. It's called the Cooper River Center for Advanced Studies, and it won a bronze award from our Building Team Awards in 2021, and it's a great, really interesting project. And I've got three of the executives who were involved in making that school happen. They are Jeff Borowy, who's a professional engineer and chief operating officer of the Charleston County School District in South Carolina. Emma Souder, AIA, who's the owner of Red Iron Architects, and we'll find out what her special role was in the project. And Tim Williams, AIA, project principal with SSOE, Stevens and Wilkinson, the primary design firm on the project. As I understand it, Jeff, this is Charleston County has about almost 50,000 students, somewhere in there, 88 schools and special programs. It's a mix of urban, suburban, and even rural. Tell us why you came up with a school that emphasizes career and technical training down in your part of the country.
Sure. Great opening, Rob. That really summarizes our district in a nutshell. Back about 10 years ago, the district decided to embark upon a plan to set up regional sites for career and technology and advanced education. We had a hodgepodge of programs at individual schools. You mentioned the size of our district. 11,000 of those students are high school students, and they weren't all getting the same opportunity. And so, you can look at graduation rates is a key milestone, but if students aren't walking out of college and career ready and ready to earn a living wage, you're not servicing the students and providing them what they need. So these CTE or these CAS centers were hopefully going to give us that opportunity to allow students to walk out with a certification or advanced classes for college if they chose to go on along that route. Yeah. The Center for Advanced Studies, real quick, is the second project. It's the one in the middle of our district, and again, it would serve a significant portion of those students.
Yeah, interesting data in the submission for your entry was that. Let me get this right. There is a need in the county in the employment area, if you will, for 49% need for essential jobs. And only 29% of the population was qualified to fill those jobs. So obviously almost a 2-to-1 deficit there. So clearly there was a public and civic and educational need because not everybody's going to college, right?
Yep, you're absolutely right.
That's it. Okay. All right. Emma, tell us what your role is, and then we're going to turn to Tim about some of the design elements of this. But I understand that Cooper River CAS, as it's known, I guess, locally, came up with 5 career sectors: architecture, construction, yay, that's us, manufacturing, transportation, distribution, technology, communications, health sciences, and the arts. Thank goodness the arts got in there too. Right. So it's really a STEAM school as much as a STEM school. So that's great. So tell us some of the background of what your role is and
Sure. I'm an architect, owner of Red Iron Architects, and my involvement in this project was mainly in the beginning programming, and then also the interior design of the building. So in the programming of this building, this is the phase that happens before the architects even put pen to paper for design. Yeah. We were very concerned that we get a lot of community involvement, and we brought people in the community in right out of the gate for the programming part of this project.
Yeah. That's one. By the way, that's one of the things we liked about the projects, and one of the reasons you won the award. So
great. So we met with the community and local industry and local businesses for input at this very early phase to understand what their needs are regarding a workforce and the necessary skills for future employment, and that's both job skills and soft skills. So we collaborated throughout the design process with local businesses to design these spaces. We reached out to, for example, for the health science week, we met with MUSC and went to a simulation lab.
Medical
there.
University of South Carolina, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
okay.
you.
Mhm.
We talked to the people working there, what they wanted for future employees. And so we designed this health suite to even have a nurse's station, hand wash sinks, hospital beds with privacy curtains, so the students can learn bedside care, hygiene standards, and get a real life experience in this facility.
We're going to look at some of the specific spaces, but one of the interesting ones that we picked up in our judging was this. You even reached out to a local garage owner.
Yes.
And I gather that originally there was not going to be an automotive component to the building, and you put it in the middle of design, I guess, or something. Kind of interesting. So, yes. Tim, tell us, Tim, what the role of SSOE, Stevens and Wilkinson was, and you were involved in something called Project Lead the Way. What was going on with that? And Jeff, you can pitch in on that too.
Yeah, we were all involved in the Project Lead the Way, but the thing about Project Lead the Way is it's a transformative learning experience that brings a hands-on environment to education. And as Emma spoke about the biomedical and the nursing suites and all, these kids are able to work within these real-life environments using the same tools, the same equipment that they would use in a real life practice. So, at the end of the day, in the health sciences, they have the opportunity to actually diagnose cases in a family practice environment, and then even go through the process of applying a treatment for that. So, and then in the engineering realm as well, Project Lead the Way, there are so many courses that Charleston offers that I can't even remember all of them, but Introduction to Engineering Design, Civil Engineering and Architecture we've already talked about, but one of the most exciting ones is Computer Integrated Manufacturing. This is where they're introduced to high-tech, innovative nature of modern manufacturing. The manufacturing process, the product design, robotics, just giving students the opportunity to experience what it might be like in the real workforce. And then as Jeff stated, giving them the opportunity to potentially earn a certificate that might give them a leg up to go ahead into the workforce immediately, or build on the education they got in the Charleston district to go for higher ed.
Yeah, there's even if I picked up correctly, Jeff, there's even a cybersecurity modality to this, and where was this school when I was going to school? I got wood shop. Which I liked, and I still use this stuff. But man, you're talking about. Let's look at some of the photos, and look at this construction lab, Tim and Jeff and Emma. Auto collision. These are really exquisite facilities. A mechatronics classroom. Tim, you want to talk about any of the design elements of some of the more interesting and unusual ones here?
Well, the thing about when we're designing spaces for CTE, they have to be extremely flexible, because we did, as Emma said, we identified some of the initial programs that we knew would be in this facility today, but there are going to be programs that come down the pike tomorrow, yesterday already, that we have no earthly idea. So they have to be extremely flexible.
Right.
You mentioned, the automotive collision. Well, that was slated to be a different curriculum in there, but because of the flexibility, we were able at the last moment to make alterations to allow that to happen. So certainly our architecture is important, the cybersecurity, robotics, mechatronics, but they all work in either high bay or low bay spaces, and flexibility, change, all the part of K through 12.
Yeah, Jeff, I understand that originally the building was supposed to be have a different first of all, that the site needed, there was a lot of discussion about where the school would be located. I imagine Emma was involved in those discussions you all were, but the whole question of where do you put this thing? Is it a separate school? Is it want to talk about the site selection and that modality and the fact of its size and nature. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Those are extremely critical points. Unfortunately for us, we didn't have those decisions made when we brought Tim and Emma on, and they really helped us through a lot of that. But in the end, a couple of the key factors were that we wanted to try to site it at one of our high schools so that it reduced the transportation burden to get students there, and also possibly increase the number of students that would attend. So to centrally located, that was ended up being a key factor in the end, because one of the decisions the district made was, and it was one of the complaints about our previous Center for Technology, was that the students would depart. They would no longer be part of their home school. They would be part of this school for their general education classes, sports, and everything else. They wanted to stay with their kids, want to stay with their friends, the kids they're growing up with. They go to this school, they go back to their home school. And so that it met another challenge we had in the district.
Oh, so Jeff, they're going back and forth between the two buildings, literally.
Correct.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. And then we transport from the rest of that region. We do runs in the morning. In some cases, the kids go from home to this school, to the Center for Advanced Studies. Sometimes they go from another school to the Center for Advanced Studies. And the same thing in the afternoon. They run about half-day blocks. So we get them back to their home school either in the morning or in the afternoon, actually, to get their core curriculum classes.
Yeah. Emma, I'm inferring from the entry that there was a lot, you said there was a lot of community involvement, but it also seemed to result in some community access points here. You've got a beautiful commons and auditorium that you can use, that the community can use for various functions. I gather there's a robotics competition that's held in the building. So tell us about the community getting involved in and being able to use the building.
Absolutely. That was a very key part of the design of this facility. For example, the large lecture hall is a room that's right off of the commons that can be opened up. And we put in there pull-out. They're not bleacher seats. They're more comfortable theater seats.
Right.
So the room is extremely flexible. You can pull it out and have a presentation, or you can push the seats back and have a room that you could use for recruitment, where businesses come in and meet with the students and possibly talk about future employment. We also have in the facility a space for business offices. So if you're a business leader and you're teaching in the facility, there's a business suite within the admin.
An industry partner suite is it's a very interesting concept, and looks like there's been a lot of I see photos of with obviously manufacturers that we would recognize in the photos. Tim, a lot of corporate sponsors involved in some of these, and Jeff. It seems that there was a lot of involvement by business and industry.
That's correct. And, the goal is, you've already mentioned 49%, of the workforce is required in essential critical jobs. So the idea is to look at these corporations, these manufacturing companies, to make sure that the district is training students and giving them a workforce that they can move right into those jobs, and then bringing those corporations and manufacturers into the school, to partner with the students concurrently. It's very important for them.
Yeah, one of the points you made was interactive learning facility that engages corporations for learning. That's really, you really got the business community involved in this school. It's in their interest, but you really reached out and got them involved, which is really significant. And you got the community access. What would you say? I'd like to get kind of your feel for the advice that you might give to others, because there's a lot of interest in this CTE stuff around the country, and school districts and designers and everybody's struggling with how do you do this. And Tim mentioned the flexibility question. We don't know, if you'd been designing this 6 years ago, you would have said, oh, do we need a health component? Oh, and then COVID hits. Okay. I mean, I'm clearly we don't know what the next thing is. So I'd like to ask each of you, what's something you learned? What's some advice you would pass along to my audience of 150,000 architects and engineers and contractors and others involved in the vertical construction industry? Who wants to go first? Oh, Jeff, you're the boss here. You're the client. You got to go first.
I'm not the boss, but these guys always have better answers than me, so I better go first. For me, the first thing is it's the two of them on the panel right now. Emma and Tim brought the experience that was needed to run this show. It's not a normal K-12 project. You've got to have somebody on the team that understands CTE, and we needed that desperately. So that's probably the biggest message. They won our Architecture Year of the Award, Architect of the Year award last year for this project, and we do a lot of work here in the school district. That's the first thing. The second is when programs are picked, they really have to work hard to make sure there's instructors to deliver the instruction. That's another good reason to partner with industry to see if they can provide some help with that instruction, because to get a full-time teacher in these specialty areas is not easy. Are you
getting people coming in and teaching classes from outside?
We've developed partnerships with industry, so they come in for guest lectures. In some cases, they're contributing even more than that. But that's key. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is the coordination of getting kids there and back, because the high school schedules have to mirror and match this schedule so that kids don't miss hours of instruction. They either leave their school and come here and don't miss any time, or they go back to their home school. And so lining up all the high schools to match the schedule is really critical. And so the educators have to be involved in that process from the get-go.
Okay. Tim, what about some of the design elements, or what did you learn doing this?
Well, the one thing I learned is we should start early and work late, because we really did do that. And this is a project that really had a picture-perfect sort of collaboration team. I mean, Charleston School District, the program managers, the design team, we're all strong, and we worked together. And it was, Jeff, I don't know, if you would agree, but it was almost a seamless process for us. So at the end of the day, we had a facility that I believe met the district's needs. The other thing that I will say, whether it's CTE or K through 12, is the need that a district's going to have is probably going to far exceed their budget. So this was a 100,000 square foot program initially, and we looked at ways that we could make sure the program worked and worked well, but decrease that number to 90,000 square feet.
And you reduced the height of the number of levels from 3 stories down to 2.
The different programs worked better on 2 floors, and it saved. Well, the bid project was $4.6 million under the budget, and that's the first project in this realm of projects in Charleston that came in under the budget. That allowed them to do a lot of other things. We are not hospitalities, we're not banking, we're not businesses that are loaded with money. K through 12, we've got to figure out ways to do innovative 21st century architecture on a very small budget. So we did that.
Emma, we're going to let you have the last word.
Okay. Well, I just can't stress enough the importance of having the community and local businesses involved. I have been involved with other Cape facilities that didn't have really any idea of what kind of programs they wanted. And I've been to Chamber of Commerce meetings and Rotary clubs and local businesses to really understand what a community needs in a Cape Center. So I don't think you can have a successful program or facility without that community involvement.
That's really interesting. And Jeff, I understand that this is not the last Center for Advanced Studies in Charleston County. I mean, you're continuing to do more of these types of facilities. Is that correct?
We just opened our 3rd one this fall. So we're built out on the 3 regions, and now it's a matter of growing the programs and reaching out to those middle school kids to get them interested in receiving this type of great education in these great spaces.
Well, you tell them from me that they should take some of these classes, because
I wish I had some of the stuff
I
that
know.
you're teaching these young people now to use around the house and elsewhere. So it's great that you're doing this, and it's really I'm being a little facetious, but it really is important to is it not, that we not treat every student as having to be college bound. That there are some young people who just, it's not, book learning is not the thing. They want that hands-on. They want that kind of job that's does that kind of thing. And I think you're doing a creditable job in providing that. So thank you for doing that, and congratulations on your award for the Cooper River Center for Advanced Studies. I've had as my guests today Jeff Borowy, the Chief Operating Officer for the Charleston County School District in South Carolina, Emma Souder, the owner of Red Iron Architects, and Tim Williams, Project Principal with SSOE, Stevens and Wilkinson. Thanks for a very interesting and informative discussion.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rob.
Rob.